rectangle. What is perimeter? In case you've forgotten, let's define it. Perimeter is the distance around a sheet. To find the perimeter, you add the measurement of each side. Okay, for a rectangle, we can actually use a special formula for perimeter because a rectangle, there's two widths that are the same length and well, same distance, right? And then there's two lengths that are the same. So because of that, to add those four sides together, you can just say 2 times this side and 2 times that side and add those together because they're the same, right? So typically a formula that we use for the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 widths and 2 lengths. And that is the perimeter of a rectangle. If you want to write that again, but it says it right here. This thing here was just to help us remember what perimeter is. All right, let's go through a couple of examples here. So this rectangle has a length of 7 and a width of 2. So what's the perimeter going to be? There's a couple different ways we could do this problem. We could think, oh, this is a rectangle. That means this is 7 and this is 2, right? And then just like our definition of perimeter says, we could just go 7 plus 2 plus 7 plus 2. That would give us 9 plus 16 plus 2, which is a total of 18. I want to make sure we always keep the units that are happening within the problem. So to do the perimeter this way, I just add all the sides together, right? However, if I want to, I can use the formula. Get out of my way. And use the formula instead. So if my formula is 2 widths and 2 lengths, that means I can plug in a 2 where the W is, a 2 where the W is, because that's the width, right? And then I can put a 7 where the L is, because that's the length. And then multiply. Remember, order of operations, you multiply before you add. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 7 is 14. And together, 4 plus 14 adds up to 18. Did I get the same answer I got when I just found the sides and just added them together? Yeah. So it works either way. What's the benefit of this? Well, it depends. If you're trying to solve something, this might be better. At the very least, I just want you to get a feel for remembering how to plug stuff into a formula and how to use it. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2 is going to make us go backwards. It says there's a perimeter of 31 feet. The only thing we know about it is that the width of it is 3.5 feet. So if one width is 3.5 feet, doesn't that mean the other width is also 3.5 feet? So at the very least, we can fill that in. But we don't know what the length is. There's a question mark there. I'm calling this the width and the other one the length, because generally we refer to the width as the shorter side and the length as the longer side. That's just kind of a tradition to call them that. But really, they're both lengths, right? We're just calling them different things so that we can use the formula and realize that those are 2 different numbers. Okay, so we're going to take our formula, perimeter equals 2 widths, 2 lengths, and this time I'm actually going to plug in 31 for P. I didn't even write down the P on the last problem because that's what I was trying to find. It just was like, this is what we're doing, we're following this formula, we're finding P. The this time we know P and we don't know L. It's a different variable that we don't know. So I'm actually going to use the entire formula, including the P, and plug that in there. Then, remember, I know the width. The width is this 3.5, so I'm going to plug that in. And then I don't know the length, so I'm actually going to leave an L in my problem. Now, there's different ways you can do this by just guess and check or whatever, just, kind of use reasoning. But I'm going to show you the process of using a formula to do this. Okay, so we're trying to solve for L. We've suddenly turned this into algebra. So in order to solve for L, the first thing we need to do is multiply. What do you think I'm thinking we should multiply? Two and the 3.5, anything? Okay, so 2 times 3.5, that's going to be 7. So I have 31 equals 7 plus 2L. So then I'm going to want to subtract that 7 from both sides, which leaves me with 24 equals 2L. Now, just like any algebra problem, when we want to get a variable by itself, we divide by the number in front of the variable. So if we're trying to solve for L, we would want to get rid of the 2. If 2 lengths is 24, then how long is 1 length? That will mean that 1 length equals 12, correct? Because if we divide both sides by 2, 24 divided by 2 is 12. So we just found the answer to the question mark here. The length of our rectangle is 12. Okay, let's do a couple of word problems involving perimeter. Are we good so far? On a scale of 1 to 5 on your fingers, tell me where you're at with understanding this and being able to probably do it by yourself. I had a couple of you respond to me, but those results are good, or the rest of you okay? At least give me a head nod or something. Okay, cool. Let's go to our little written questions here. Eddie wants to put up a fence around a rectangular space for his dog in his yard. If the space is 10 feet long and 7 feet wide, how long will the fence be? So like he needs to go to the store, buy enough fence to go around, right? How much is he going to need to buy? So 10 feet long. So if you want, you can draw a picture. Drawing a picture is always helpful. So it's going to be 7 feet wide, 10 feet long. That's also 7, that's also 10. So just like in problem 1, we could use 2 different methods. We could plug these into the formula, or we could just add them all together. So 10 plus 7 plus 10 plus 7, right? So 2 lengths would be 20. 2 times 10. And 2 widths. Notice how I just switched the length and the width when I was writing this down. Does that matter? But I did length first instead of width first? Does the order I write them down in matter in this case? Nah, it does not. Okay, so 2 lengths is 20, and 2 widths is 2 times 7, which is 14. Add the 20 and the 14 together, I get 34 feet of fencing. Or a lot of stuff is done in yards when you go buy it at the store, or meters. Meters is a whole different unit of measurement. If it was yards, you would just divide by 3. So that would be 11 plus 2/3. If I divided 34 by 3. So I would need like 12 yards if it comes in yards. Just have to pay attention to that counting. All right, last question. Lily is going to swim around the perimeter of a rectangular pool. If she swims all the way around once, she swims a total distance of 150 meters. The pool has a length of 50 meters. How many meters wide is the pool? Again, I always like to draw a picture. You don't have to. It's just something that helps me see what I'm doing. So the pool has a length of 50 meters. So it'll be 50 on both of those sides. But I don't know what the width is. altogether, 2 lengths plus 2 widths is going to add up to 150 meters. So 2 lengths, which was 50, and 2 widths, which I don't know the answer to, is going to add up to 150 meters. So let's go ahead and work backwards just like we did on question 2. So 150 meters is equal to 2 times 50 meters plus 2 times whatever the width is, obviously in meters because we want to keep the same unit. So that means we have 150 meters is equal to 100 meters plus something we don't know. So if 100 meters plus what we don't know adds up to 150, then the part we don't know adds up to 50 because just get rid of that 100 to get it out of the way, right? Subtract it from both sides. Now, just like we did in problem 2, we divide by 2. What's the width of the pool going to be? 50 divided by 2. You need a calculator. Feel free to use one. I'm not going to limit you on that. So 25 meters wide. All right, we're now going to do the perimeter assignment on Khan Academy.